in this government, because when the former Minister of Justice spoke, he spoke on behalf of the government, and all of the assurances that he gave were given on behalf of the government. So that when the member for Diego Martin West makes the point that the Attorney General had knowledge of and supported the government's solemn undertaking, it is a correct point, because the Attorney General would have to be blind, deaf, or deluded not to be aware of the assurances given in this place and in the other place when he was present listening to the undertakings given by the former Minister of Justice on behalf of the government of Trinidad and Tobago. It is absurd for anyone to suggest that the Attorney General had no knowledge of and was not involved in the undertakings given by the government with respect to the proclamation of this legislation. And what were those undertakings, Mr. Speaker? You see, there's a lot of old talk in the system, and I'm afraid that contribution we just got really didn't help. And the reason why I was objecting, Mr. Speaker, was really I would prefer that members officers deal with the matter at hand. If you want to talk foolishness, sorry, Mr. Speaker, I understand that's an unparliamentary word, but if you want to delve into trivia and inaccuracies, we'll do it on some other motion. Can we please stick to the subject matter? It is unfortunate that we did not have the benefit of information from the leader of government business as to exactly what transpired. But in order to understand the nature of the undertaking given by the former Minister of Justice, all we have to do, Mr. Speaker, is go to the HANSARD, and you will see the undertaking that he gave, Mr. Speaker. And I have in my possession the HANSARD from the 18th of November 2011, and I was looking at it this morning, and something struck me that I had not seen before. And this is on page 126 of the HANSARD of the 18th of November 2011. And this is the undertaking that is referenced in the preamble that the Attorney General must have known about and must have had knowledge of and must have been in support of, because you're right here. So let us read what the undertaking given by the former Minister of Justice on behalf of the government with the knowledge of the Attorney General. Mr. Speaker, what is proposed is that within the shortest possible time, as soon as is practicable, this measure will be proclaimed. We will put in place what needs to be put in place, and this is the thing I hadn't seen before. First, for example, and this is an undertaking being given by the former minister on behalf of the government, the Attorney General, the subject of this motion, will have to bring a measure to amend the Supreme Court of Judicature Act to allow for the appointment of a number of masters. Let me repeat that, because it seems over there they don't read, they don't understand, they are easily duped, they are confused, they trust everybody, they don't listen. That is what I'm picking up in the literature. They are duped, they are confused, they don't know what's going on. But let me read the answer. This is the former Minister of Justice speaking, giving an undertaking on behalf of the government with reference to the Attorney General, who is the subject of this motion. First, and that only has one word in the English language. First, it means before anything else. For example, the Attorney General will have to bring a measure to amend the Supreme Court of Judicature Act to allow for the appointment of a number of masters. That is going to have to be done. Now, he said many other things, and I'll deal with it after the break. But the fact of the matter is, the government, speaking through the mouth of the former minister, gave an undertaking that before this bill was proclaimed, the Attorney General would bring an amendment to the Parliament amending the Supreme Court of Judicature Act to allow for the appointment of masters. Now, you and I know, Mr. Speaker, that was not done. That was not done. So if the Minister of Justice is telling us in this Parliament, and the Prime Minister is right there, the leader of the Cabinet is right there, that before I could proclaim this act, or before we as a government could bring this act into force, the Attorney General must amend the Supreme Court of Judicature Act to allow for the appointment of masters. What happened? And this is something that we have to look at later on. The Attorney General was right there. The Prime Minister was there. The whole cabinet was there when these words were uttered by the former Minister of Justice and transformed into a solemn undertaking, as has been stated by the mover of this motion, to the Parliament, Mr. Speaker. What happened? I mean, and it makes a lot of sense. How can you bring this law into effect if you don't have the necessary judicial officers to interpret and to implement the legislation, Mr. Speaker? How